Welcome, I'm Bev Adams. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and I'd like to show you this cute little box. There's 6 gift cards and 6 little envelopes. You could certainly fit more gift tags, but this is enough to really fill it up enough so that this box could be a lovely gift. The box is made with these white gift boxes. We'll also use tin of tags, cherry cobbler ink, and this wonderful cable knit dynamic folder. You will need 6 squares, 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, and 2 that are 2 1/2 by 2 1/2. We're going to emboss one of the 2 1/2 inch squares in the folder and 6 of the smaller squares. And you want to mist those lightly. You can mist them with water from the Stampin' Up! Spritzer. You can also use the Stampin' Mist, which I always have with liquid in it. And because it curls when you get it wet, it will be easier if you flip them over and give a light mist on the other side as well. You just need them a little damp so that they will kind of bend into this really deep embossing folder a little bit better. And you can fit 4 at a time on here. Your sandwich is going to be a little bit different. You use the Big Shot platform like you do with any other embossing folder. You do not need the thin die adapter. Because this embossing folder is so thick, you only need one single clear folder. And I'll bring in my Big Shot. This just barely fits in to the Big Shot, and so you do want to make sure it's all lined up nicely and run it through. And that has a really nice thick deep embossing to it. Set those aside so they can dry, and then run the others through. As I put these down, I am paying attention to where those cable knits are going. It doesn't matter whether you put a cable in the middle or have 2, but you do want them symmetrical. So I'll run these through the Big Shot too. We want to put one other thing through the Big Shot. These boxes come with this clear sleeve, and we're going to emboss this. Now it just barely fits in. You can decide whether you want the cables to go around or up and down. If you want them up and down, you're going to put your sleeve in like this. Your sandwich is going to be the same with the Big Shot platform, the folder, and one single clear plate. Run it through the Big Shot. It is going to be a little tighter to run through. But it goes through beautifully. Once you get it through, you're just going to crease the other direction. Put your box together. You're going to put the U shape in first, tuck in the sides, and then the funnel end. Then put the box into the sleeve. And that cable knit pattern looks beautiful. I didn't mention that this project was inspired by Sue Lehrer from Minnesota. Thank you, Sue. I saw her idea on Pinterest. These cards that go inside are 2 3/4 by 5 1/2, and you just fold them in half, and of course use your bone folder. A number of these stamps would look great inside. I used Making Spirits Bright with the to and the from on the inside, and I put them all on one stamp so I can stamp them all at once. And then I'm using Spread Some Christmas Cheer on the top. All of the red I'm using is cherry cobbler, so I'm using the cherry cobbler ink. Push, flip, and slide it in. This is a photopolymer, so I've got my Stampin' Pierce mat. But the photopolymer does make this easy because you can see right where you're stamping if your head's in the right place. Here's that other 2.5 inch square. So I'm stamping Spread Some Christmas Cheer right in the middle of that. Closing my stamp pad by pulling, flipping, and clicking. I have 6 2.5 inch square pieces of cherry cobbler that I'm going to adhere to the front of my tags. Adhesive of your choice. I'm using the liquid glue. And now is a good time to punch the holes in the upper left before you get too many layers in. This is the 1/8 inch circle punch. And I'm putting some of our cherry cobbler baker's twine in. If you're doing tons of these, or if you have tons of baker's twine, let me give you a little tip. You need about 8 inches, so you want 2 of these. Just cut through that whole section and you'll have all of your baker's twine ready to go. I did that with one of my packs. And then you have the fold already ready to go. Tuck that fold into the hole. Reach up through, grab those ends and pull it tight, and just adhere the cable net on top of the cherry cobbler, centered right in the middle. And you will have 1 square of cherry cobbler that's 2 3/4 inch square. And this is the one that you're going to put the one larger cable net onto. And this goes on top of your box. I sell taggers for the layering framelits, all the circles, squares, ovals, and a few other sizes. I use this to determine that I wanted to determine what size framelit, and I found that the number 4 smooth circle framelit works perfectly. And then I'm going to use the next larger scallop circle. So I'm pulling in my Big Shot again. These are thin dies, so we're going to use the thin die adapter. We are going to use 2 plates, so I've got my messier plate on the bottom. If I had remembered my plan, I could have cut this scallop circle from the middle of this piece. And you can cut both of these out at the same time. Cover it with your second clear plate. Make sure it's all fitting on here. Run it through the Big Shot. And then I am using dimensionals here. But this can go on the top with adhesive of your choice. I find that the liquid glue is really good because it's strong enough to catch those tall bumps. One more piece of that cherry cobbler, and I'm just tying a simple bow, making it really small. I just love little bows. Just need to make it even. Trim the ends. Then this goes on with the glue dot. You just want to pinch your glue dot so it goes behind the bow. Stick it on the edge there. So my box is done. I can put the cards in, but now I need to do the envelopes. You can make lots of different sizes of envelopes with the envelope punch board. Our box is 3 by 3 and our cards are 2 3/4 inch square, and there's not going to be an envelope that will exactly fit the envelope and will also fit in the box. So here's how to do it. This is the envelope punch board. It does have the scoring tool in there. I'm left-handed, so I need to turn it around sideways. I'm using regular copy paper to make these envelopes. Because this copy paper is really thin, it's going to work best if you actually make 2 or 3, or I've got 4 here. To make the envelopes the right size, you're going to come up to 2.5 inches, punch, and score. Going to turn. Now once you make that first punch and score, you don't have to measure at all. You just, let me see if I can show you where this crease is. You're going to put this crease at the point on the punch board, punch and score, turn, punch and score. It is a little bit harder to punch through the 4 sheets of copy paper, but it works. Punch and score. They should be pretty close to square, but if there's one side that's longer than the other, you're going to use that side as the top. And so I'm rounding the corner with the reverse corner punch. You could round both sides, but we're going to be covering one of them up, so really you just need to punch one of them. And then I like to trim a bit off the point. I'll show you what I mean. Well, this one doesn't show too much, but I usually just kind of make a habit of trimming the point off. Sometimes it sticks up. This isn't too bad. Then with the trimmed corner at the bottom, you're going to use any adhesive to go all the way to the end. I fold up the bottom, fold in the pointed one, and then fold in the rounded one. And repeat. And before you know it, you'll have envelopes that will fit in your box. 6 envelopes, 6 gift cards. And this will be great for your gift giving or as a hostess gift for a party you might go to. If you're watching on YouTube, just go down below and click on the link, and it'll take you to my website, bevadams.com, and I'll have everything you need right there. Merry Christmas. Talk to you soon. Bye.